Hi everyone, and welcome to Tuesday's Facebook Live. So first of all, for those who don't know me, my name is Tova Gar. I am from Girls to Women, and you can check out my work either on Facebook, which you can if you're watching me right now, or you can check me out at www.tovagar.com. I'll put that in the links a little bit later as well. So I know that those of you who are following my blog post were expecting me to talk today and kind of take our conversation to the next step of how do we take that vision board that we talked about, creating a vision board with your daughter, with your son, how do we take that into reality? How do we make sure that that vision board doesn't actually just stay on a piece of a paper, poster, carton, wherever it is that you've decided to put it for the rest of the year? But we're actually going to take a pause and talk about that next week. And the reason that I want to do that is... 1 second. I just want to make this easier for the people who are joining us. Just making sure that things are showing up. As you know, when we do things live, often they show up in delay. So even those who are joining us live, here we go. Perfect. Okay, so the reason that I'm going to change our topic is because what I've noticed with some of my clients that I've been working with is that as we get either towards the first day of school that has already happened or is approaching, one of the topics of conversation that has come up is first day of school and first impressions. Okay, what impression do I want to create and do I want to make? And that's whether you're moving from elementary school into middle school, as some of my clients are, if you're moving from middle school to high school, as some of my clients are, or even if you're just going back to the new school, right? It's been summer, things have changed. We all know that summer break, one of the things that it allows us to do is slightly invent ourselves anew and start fresh. And especially if you're changing a school, that's a great opportunity to do so. But one of the things that I saw was the tension that was being created between the girls that I'm working with and their parents on what is appropriate to wear to school. I'm sure you've all had this conversation in your house of what is appropriate, what isn't appropriate, especially if there is no dress code in your school. And thinking about what does my appearance look like, and how does my appearance affect the way people are looking at me, perceiving me, thinking about me, and is that in alignment with what I really want? And this is where I find a lot of girls that I work with have some challenge and difficulty in seeing that connection between what they're putting out there, how other people are perceiving them, and whether there's a match there. Right? And so one of the girls that I work with was talking about wanting to be sexy and wanting to be liked by boys. And really that was the most important thing for her. And so we kind of had to take that and break it apart and say, first of all, I asked her what that means to her, right? What does it mean to be sexy? What does that give her? Right? What is she hoping that will happen if indeed she is perceived as sexy? Right? What does she get if the boys pay attention to her and like her and want her company? What is that going to give her? And the process we were able to go through is to think and say, these things that I want to try on, which are, by the way, 100% normal and natural for a teenage girl. It's normal for a teenage girl to try on different personas and different clothes and want to be sexy, right? And want boys to like her. There's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly normal, right? But we were thinking what we thought about together, and what I more than thought about together was helping her think on her own, is this the impression I want to give at school? Is that the right place for that impression? And what is it, and who do I want to connect with at school? Right? This is a girl who, the group of friends that she chose in the past wasn't necessarily a group of friends that really served her purpose, right? It was a group of friends that often put her down, often dismissed her, often felt that they could move her in any direction that they wanted because, as she will admit herself now, she allowed it. And so if we're trying to move into new relationships, then she needs to be thinking about what kind of person she's putting out there, therefore what kind of people is she attracting into her life and into her new experience. And what I'd like to suggest for you as you think about this question, as you help your daughter or your son think about this question, is that you ask questions, right? Instead of coming and giving a lecture and talking to them about how inappropriate this is or that is, or you're not going to let them wear that, etc., or you're going to throw their clothes out or whatever it is, that you say or your parents might have said to you, right? Know that that is ineffective. It doesn't work. They shut you down. Whether they end up listening to you or not, you're not actually getting the message that you're hoping to get across long term. Instead, ask them questions. Ask them why, ask them what they're planning on wearing, and ask them why they made that choice. And then ask them, like, for example, like I shared with my client, when she said sexy and she wants the boys to like her, I didn't put her down. I just asked her what that meant, right? Have them get their help to break down what it is that they're actually really hoping for in this new school year. Not just on their first day, right? But throughout the whole year. What are the kind of friends that they want to make? What are kind of the experience that they want to make? Is the are the choices that they're going to making going to draw in those kind of people and that kind of energy into their experience? Do your best to avoid the question why. And we avoid the question why because there's something about the question why that makes us feel like we're being questioned, like we're being questioned, like we need to be on the defensive. So use what, ask them to explain more. I love to say, tell me more. I just say, tell me more, right? Or what does that actually mean to you? Or I'll reflect back and I'll say, I'm hearing you saying that this is what it means to you. Am I right? Right? I ask, am I right? Because I may be wrong, right? And sometimes I am. I don't always get it right. And sometimes I do. So I ask things in a way that make it clear that the goal of this conversation is for me to try and understand what it is that they're trying to achieve. And then, if necessary, sometimes I'll challenge them on it, right? So for my client, who was really important for her to be liked by all these boys and feel sexy, when we broke it down, one of the questions I asked her was, is school really the place where you want to feel sexy? Is that the right space for that? Is that the right space for you? And by asking the question, she was able to think about it. Some of them she had answers for right now. Some of them we're going to follow up on and think about. But I can tell you that the choice of what she was going to wear versus what she is going to wear to school is very, very different. And it's different not because I told her or not because her parents told her. It's different because she was able to take a moment and think about what it is that she wants. What does she want long-term and what does she want short-term? And how do our actions translate into helping her get that? And that is a process that I want you to help your girls and your boys go through. It's a process that they don't naturally go through at this age, okay? And if we don't teach them to go through it, they're not necessarily going to go through it later on in life. You want to help them think through what are their desires, right? What are their goals? What are they trying to achieve? What are the actions that they're taking to achieve that? Are the actions that they're taking, are the choices that they're making actually leading them in the right direction? And, what are the possibilities? What are the options, right? If I do X, it could lead to this and it could lead to that. And sometimes you have to ask questions like, well, I know this outfit makes you feel very strong, right? It makes you feel strong. It makes you empowered, for example. I want you to take yourself out of your body for a moment. This is something that I used the other day. Take yourself literally out of your body, and I want you to look at yourself wearing that outfit, going to school, and imagine that you are somebody who has never met you. What would you see, and how would you perceive yourself? Right? This is an exercise that sometimes takes teens a moment to adjust to. Right? But for her, stepping out of herself, right, and kind of looking at herself from the side and saying, if I didn't know me, right, and she's starting high school, she's starting in a brand new school. If I didn't know me, this is what I would think about that girl. Is that really what I want? Probably not. Or maybe the answer is 100% yes. That is totally the impression that I want to make. Then awesome. As long as there is clarity and thoughtfulness and they're clear on what they want and what they're hoping to achieve. So this is my recommendation to you. Take them through this process, help them think through what it is. And this is, by the way, not to say that you can't have very clear guidelines on what's acceptable and what isn't, right? I remember myself as a teenager 100%, where my mother was like, that is just not something that you're wearing. So I'm not saying that you can't do that, but I'm suggesting that it would be much more effective for you and for your child in their process of learning to make the connection between the choices that they make and the results of that action is to help take them through this process. And then of course, make sure that you follow it up once they come back from school or wherever it is that they went, and ask them how it went, and ask them who they met, and ask them, kind of help them see the connections and the results. And if things didn't quite go as they expected, it's a great way to continue the conversation and help them think together about what is and what could help them get what they want. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I asked some questions in some of the forums that I run, what people wanted me to talk about as we're moving forward into the new school year, or those of you who are on the Southern Hemisphere, you're moving into the end of your school year and summer vacation, wherever you are in the world. Feel free to share with me. You can either share it here at the bottom of the post, or you can share it with me in private. Or what are topics that you would like me to talk about moving forward? What are things that you are challenged with right now that would be really helpful if I spoke about? If you would like, if you are not on if you are not on my mailing list, you're not following my blog posts, you want to be able to have access to more of these free trainings and other learning opportunities, all you have to do is connect with me on my website that will be in the comments in a minute, www.tovagar.com. If you see that, there's a place for you to click and you can sign up to my newsletter. And as a bonus, you also get a quiz to see how your relationship is with your daughter, as well as some trainings on strengthening that relationship, as well as be able to read some old blog posts and see what other opportunities we have coming out for us to learn together. So have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, depending on where you are in the world. And I look forward to speaking to you again next Tuesday. Bye.